The shows where everyone gets along are the shows that go. And if there's even really one bad egg, it can get into the show, and then it doesn't work, and the show doesn't last as long as it could.
Welcome back to Under Oath. Today we're interviewing That 70s Show and 90s Show, Debra Jo Rupp. Debra Jo, can you hear me?
I can.
Why don't you tell me what it's like revisiting a character that you hadn't played in 17 years?
It's just the loveliest thing. It's kind of great. It's not a big stretch. It's, I don't have to come up with a new character. She's just part of my being now. Yeah.
Somebody comes to you and they said, hey, guess what? We're going to be redoing this show. How does that even, you're just like going, okay, let's do it.
Well, it came at a very good time because, it was kind of the height of COVID. People were isolated. And to me, I just thought, wow, we all need to laugh. Everybody needs to laugh right now. And the timing seemed really good. And, we had a lot of the original people back. And everybody was on board to help us launch it. And the new kids are fantastic. So I don't know. It just was sort of meant to be, I think.
Now, are they shooting in the same soundstage or is it a different stage?
Different stage. Well, it's a different lot.
And I guess
it's a different studio. It's not 70 Show was Fox. We're Netflix now.
And I guess I'm wondering, you go back and the set is the same or similar, but there are differences. Is it just like the Bizarro world for you when you go on that set?
Well, there's enough different that it was enough like a new show, but there are tricky things on that set. Like the front door is tricky to act in because you kind of have to step in. There's little things that we got to teach the kids. Like, don't stand here. That's bad lighting. Or, the cheese grater lights kind of suck. Don't stand under those. There's things, little tricks. So it was nice to already have those worked out.
Now, what I love about talking to actors like you is I know that you have this unbelievable wealth of knowledge from the stage, from doing voice acting, everything else. Do you get to give that to some of these younger actors you're working with? Well,
it's there. And if they ask me, I tell them. But, I think kids around that age want to discover themselves. They do a lot of watching. So we have to be examples. Sometimes it's easier than other times to be a good example at all times.
Now, I can't even imagine what it's like performing with people for 8 solid years. I mean, it must be just your family, and then suddenly you leave.
Well, you have to like everybody. You have to like everyone, and we were very fortunate, and we're fortunate again in that. You also need to be working, in my experience, and I was lucky enough to work on some very successful shows, the thing that always stuck with me was that the shows where everyone gets along are the shows that go. And if there's even really one bad egg, it can get into the show, and then it doesn't work, and the show doesn't last as long as it could. So it's kind of important that you have kind people and talented people and people that honestly like each other. And we have this little decade show is very fortunate in that respect. We have really great people, solid people.
Now, what I loved about the show, because I watched the first season, what was amazing to me was seeing these characters, 17 years later. So when you see Kelso and Jackie pop back up, and I don't want to spoil it for people, but what is that like when you go onto the set and the first time you see them in a long time? Is that just like, wow, my family's back?
Well, I had seen most of them. And I had worked with some of them since 70s Show. But I guess seeing them on the set was just huge. And actually back in those characters again. I mean, we all cried the first time we saw each other. And they all came at different times when we were shooting. We all cried because it's a family. It's, 8 years of your life. And in their lives, it was at a particular time in their life where they're growing up and they're becoming adults. It was a very formative period of their lives. And again, in 90s show, that's exactly what's happening.
Now, what I love about your career is you've done an unbelievable amount of stage work. Then you do that 70s show, and then you do voice acting, theater, amazing things. And then you get the opportunity to be on a Marvel set. And I can't even imagine.
I know.
How crazy is that?
I know. It's the most fun. I mean, because I have to say camera work, not sitcom. Sitcom has a live audience, which I love. I love live audience, and that's why I love theater. Marvel is the most fun I've had doing just a camera show. Because it's just so not your world. It's this huge make-believe world with this huge make-believe character. It was so fun, so fun. And the one that's coming out, I think it's coming out in September, is so good. I'm so excited. I'm excited about both projects. It just couldn't be better. 90 show and Marvel. It just couldn't be better. I'm going to be everywhere, just everywhere.
What I love about that is, you go from doing WandaVision to, I believe the show's called Agatha, which is coming up. And I know I talk to people who do Marvel movies and shows all the time, and they are just blown away by how big it is on those sets. Everything seems like twice as big, green screens, the tech, everything. I mean, how unbelievably, as when they tell you, hey, here's a green screen, you go, I guess I'm doing this.
Well, I don't do a lot of green screen work. I get to do like in the Marvel thing this season, there's this thing called The Road. And we travel down the road, and they actually built this road with these weird trees and this weird lighting in a soundstage. It's huge. It's just amazing. It's amazing what can be created. I'm still amazed at my age.
Yeah, I love that. I love that the amount of money, time, and effort Disney and Marvel put into things. And, it's like they don't even care about money. Here, we'll build a road. I mean, it's just crazy.
Oh, my God. It's going to be amazing. Amazing.
Now, you've had the opportunity to do a lot of voice acting. And I love talking to voice actors because a lot of times you're acting, you're just giving the voice. The people you're working with aren't even there. And I know you do Teacher's Pet with Nathan Lane. Do you do that alone, or are you guys in the same room?
I did it alone. I do it alone. I mean, there's someone that reads the lines, but it's you're not really doing the script. I'm not sure how The Simpsons do it. I have a feeling they're more in the room together. I think you would have to be for the timing. But when I've done it, it's always been solo. And you do one line, 20 times, several different ways. And so then the director chooses the route that they're going to go with the project.
A lot of people don't realize, they think that's easy. I've done some of that, and you're in the room for 6-7 hours and you're worn out. I mean, people don't get how hard that is on your voice, how difficult that is. I mean, when you leave those, is it more exhausting to do, let's say, an episode of that 90s show, or to be in a room doing 6 hours of that?
6 hours of that,
Well,
yeah, that's more exhausting.
Well, some people, I will love when some actors go, yeah, it's easy. I'm going, no, it's not. Why are you saying this? And
No, it's not. And then you have the committee that all have to agree on the right reading. So you do it a million times until they all go, oh yeah, that's it.
Could you try it this way?
Trying to decipher what they want can be difficult.
Yeah, I love this. Could you try it this way? No, I don't want to try it this way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's what's funny is you have this great attitude for the first 4 hours, and then the last 2 hours you're going, I
so true.
I just want to kill somebody.
So true. Yeah.
It's a funny life. Now, one of the things I love talking to actors like you who have had an unbelievable amount of stage work also. And I mean, when I ask this question, I really mean it. And the question is this: you get an opportunity to either win an Oscar or a Tony. What do you take?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a big award winner. So I don't know. I sometimes think it's a popularity contest a little bit. So, and I think it's the people that you know and whatever. I don't know. I think any award is kind of lovely. I would take either one. Either one.
Now, the hard thing about doing stage work is you have to commit to a specific period of time and everything else like that. So, I mean, the idea they offer you, like you played Dr. Ruth, and I can't even imagine how that character comes to you and you go, I can pull this off. I think I can, and I think I can encapsulate this real human being. How does that process even happen?
Well, I think I was at the point in my career when I did that I wanted to do things that scared me, because I think you really grow a lot when you accept those challenges. And I was pretty much the right height, so that that hurdle was done. And I didn't know a lot about Dr. Ruth. I mean, I was I was growing up when she was a sex therapist, and that's what I knew of her. I didn't know that she was a sniper in the Israeli army. I didn't know she was part of the Kinder transport. I didn't know any of this. And so the more I found out, the more I went, oh wow, I would love to do this. I would just love to do this. And I mean, it was hard because she was alive, and so she was there, and she came to most of the performances. So she was in the audience, but she's such a lovely, tiny woman. And her whole family came, and it was just a nice thing to be a part of. It was a really kind of glorious thing to be a part of.
I can't even imagine that experience.
And I did it a lot. Oof. I did it in Massachusetts. I did it in Connecticut. I took it into New York. I did it a lot. And it was nice for people to get to know more about her.
I mean, that is amazing. I can't even imagine what that was like with that person's in the audience, and you're just hoping you get her right.
I know. Well, she was very encouraging, and she was very accessible to me. So any question I had, we had dinner. We still have dinner together. She's a friend of mine, and I'm honored to have her in my life.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, we've about a minute left. We have that 90s show. When does it come back?
90s show is Thursday night on Netflix. That's when it drops, 8 episodes. And then there are 8 more episodes in October. And they're good. You're back in Point Place. You're going to meet Tommy Chong's son. You're going to see familiar faces in the town. It's good. It's just, I'm very excited for people to see it. I'm really excited.
Well, I really love revisiting that show, and it's amazing, and I can't thank you enough for being here. I look forward to talking to you again.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.